then we can actually, through our own words, we can start to format this Excel book. This is fictive data. We have information about some packages. We have an ID number here, a sender, a recipient, destination, weight, volume, departure, arrival, price, and what currency it's in. These headers are in Danish, but Copilot can fine help us. Let's try to do some basic formulas, basic help, and then we will get more advanced to get some really advanced help. You can see here I have some currencies here that I want to update directly. Then we will apply some code. We will also do a macro like Yifeng said. Let's get some Excel help. So here I have a range of data. Let's say that I first realize that I have Excel in English. You can also have Excel in Danish, and then the formulas down here will have different wordings. What I do here in Copilot, now we get started. Then I say that in the following, I ask about Excel. My Danish, my Excel language is in English, like this. So now I just establish the foundation, then I can start to answer. Here, I really like a conversation because I established a few facts. I will also provide it with the headers of my data. I might not want to upload all of this data. This could be company sensitive data. But I can upload the headers. These are just in Danish descriptions of the underlying data. I recommend when working with data, both in Excel, but especially when we want to use it in other areas such as Copilot, that you always label your data well. So you don't say column 1 or column A, B, and C, then it's hard for Copilot to guess, and then we will need a little bit more work. So do it like here. First thing, let's get some basic Excel help before we continue. I want to learn how I can create a table here. So then I just say like this, how do I create a table? And because it knows that we are in Excel, it will say, how do I create a table in Excel? Use the ribbon. I can choose to insert tab on ribbon and say table and stuff like that. I can also do a keyboard shortcut, Control T. So there are two options. One of them was the Control T. Do like this and say OK. Then we need to add a few new columns. I want to say, well, one of them would be, I want to have this city and country. I want to have them in new columns. So I want a city column and a country column. Yes. So then I say, how do I add a new column? This is just basic Excel help, but these are for all of us that don't know Excel well. We can just use our word and then we get guides. Even though that you don't use Excel, I hope you will follow along because this can be applied to a lot of other areas. Just ask Copilot for help is the perfect tutor. Anyway, I can use the mouse or I can type in or I can table design tab. Here I can right click and then I can insert to the left of the selected column. I will take this a little bit quick, but actually get the guide here. When I go to my Excel sheet. So to the left, I say right, table columns to the left. Things will go a little bit fast here. So at least when we do these things. Here I want the city. I want a formula for that in a few moments, and I want the country. Then I want to have, we have the departure day and the arrival date. I want a transit time here. So I can right click and say insert column to the left. Then I can say something like transit in days, like this. And I also want to, oh, sorry, I think I accidentally hit the button again, sorry. Then I can also choose to, I also want to have this calculated, 3,700 euros. I want to have this calculated in Danish kroners, at least for this one here. So here I can say price in DKK. I know that I have Danish and English columns. Copilot will fine navigate in that, but in the real world, I might need to synchronize this, so either Danish or English. I speak both languages, so fine for now. Let me just resize these two columns so we can see what's going on, or all of them, like this. So now we need to create formulas for this, 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 and this. And this one here, we want to do a lookup over here. And when we have accomplished that, we want to create some code for Jinfeng and me. We will get advanced. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to do, I copy all of these columns. Control C, that is just to make it easier for me over in Copilot. I say my Excel sheet got the columns. Do like this, and then it's we have them here. I think to be most specific, it can be hard to see if transit and in and days are different columns. Then I comma separate them. I don't think you necessarily need to do that. Maybe Copilot understands it, but just as giving this task to a colleague, I want to be as precise as possible so the colleague or Copilot doesn't make any mistakes. Again, see Copilot as a really clever colleague that you need to give clear instructions. Transit in days, hold on. Like this, and feel free to ask. So my Excel sheet got the columns, then we have the columns. Maybe I could say column A is, and that is this one. I have not specified which columns we have. I say column A is this one here. Which formula to use to calculate transit in days in column K. To calculate transit in days in column K based on the formula, well, that was an easy one, J2 minus I2. I can also have an absolute number here, but let's just stick with the first one. So what I want to do here is to make sure I can copy the code here. For the last few days, Copilot has been having this little it has been written in LaTeX. It means that we get another line of a blank line to our code. So it produces, it's just in this week. So what I want to do is to maybe go to Notepad and make sure I have no extra lines and just pick the formula up like there. You will also see that there will be a few inconsistencies like this, or sometimes a button is away, or sometimes it's really slow or down for 10 minutes. It is a tool that that gets heavily updated. It comes to the market before what you're used to with Microsoft 365 products, meaning that, yeah, there will be a few mistakes here. This is a race from Microsoft side against Google, Meta, Anthropic, and even OpenAI in these AI models. Anyway, I go here to transit in days and put in my formula. Oh, well, this does not look right. This is, it says 1900 and it gives me a date. Imagine that I do this and realize this is not good. Now the clever part, I can upload images to my Copilot. This is also nice. I could have written this myself. Let's imagine that I can, this is data that I can find upload to Copilot. There's no critical data in here. Then I will, let me just do this. And then I will say something like, the calculation shows this, or maybe show the attached. It gives a result. Now I just specify in this format. Now I just specified what error I got, so I can use it for handling errors. Now it's in Excel, but it can actually handle a lot of errors. Like this, please solve it for me. Then Thomas asked, could you not ask this direct to Copilot in Excel? Thomas, yes and no. If we have the license, as Thomas might have, and maybe some of you, we have this little Copilot license here. You can also see we have it here, but this is the additional license, Thomas. So if we don't have that, this is our opportunity. And I think it works. I actually, even though I got both licenses, I actually prefer to go to chat because then I can get the guidance and I can easily see the formulas myself. So I hope that was answer enough, Thomas. But yes, if you have the license, you can use it here directly in Excel. Anyway, now it says that how to fix it. I need to format the cells as numbers. So select number, not date. Let's try that. It says that I could mark the column. I think it did at least. Yeah, mark the column K. So I mark the column, I right click, format cells, it says, and then I could say number. Do I want decimal places? Probably not. I just do like this. And then we have the transit in days. This is nice. So we created the formula, but we also debugged it with Copilot. Can debug other Excel problems even though they are not created with Copilot directly. That's great. So now we want to, I want to do a lookup. I need to, this is a price in, for example, euro, or this is actually Danish kroner, so British pounds. I need to do a lookup. So I need to take the price and then I want to look up this currency code in this table, get this number back so I can calculate the price in Danish kroners. I have no idea how to do it. Let's ask Copilot. Just go down here and then I say create a formula that takes the value of column. What column was that? Column L. Column L. I could ask how to calculate the price in Danish kroners, but now I just assume that I know it. And divide it with the value you find by creating a lookup for each value in the column that's M, where the currency code is, this column here. Column M over in, and then let's just look where I want to look it up. I want to look it up in this table, and this table is called valutakurser. Usually just called table 1, 2. I named it, so use whatever name it got. Then I want to look up this and return the one that we have in the C column. So look up in the B column and return from the C column, depending on which currency we have. Let's go back here, over in valutakurser table, like this. And let's just say that this is column B. And return the value from column C, something like this. Before we apply this transit in days, this was easy to see because we expected an amount of days. But if you just use these formulas without thinking or without having testing it, that is this the right thing it outputs, then we could easily make a mistake, especially if other people are going to use our data or make decisions based on our data. So even though that Copilot was right, we still need to format this ourselves. Anyway, now I got a L2 divided by XLOOKUP, and then I want to look in the M2 and take whatever is in the lookup for that value in the valutakurser table in the B column and return from the C column. Let me just copy code again, and because I know it adds a line break, let me just do this and make sure that we have now here. Just take the formula here, go back, and I want to place it here. Now again, you can probably see that we get the value in a date. Then I will say, again, we can just do like this. And this is just an Excel formatting. This is not that Copilot is doing something wrong. Again, I get result in a date format. Please help. See attached. Then I just do a Control-V to paste in the screenshot. Let's see if Copilot can help us. The issue is the same before. It's formatted as a date, then we need to format it as a number. Now we probably want, we could have decimal places. So again, I format the cells. Let's do a number. I can have decimal places, and we have it all the way down here. We can also see that what is happening here. It says that the price in euro is 3,700, and the price is times 10 in Danish kroner. That's not entirely correct, and that is based due to the fact that we have a slightly off currency here. We need to have these automatically updated. Copilot will help us with that, then we get more advanced. Before we do that, let's just solve this issue over here, and then we take a break. So now I go back here, and then I say in column D, I believe it was. Yes. In column D, I have data formatted as Hamburg, Germany. And so now specify a pattern. Give me 2 formulas that extract city and country. It understands which part is which. Then we get 2 formulas. I get a left where it looks for a comma, and I probably also get another formula. Here it can also vary, so we will see that it predicts what we want to find. Let's see if this is right. So I start by saying this, and again, maybe I can just do this to only copy the correct one so it doesn't add a line break. We'll see. Copy this time from here. So that one we have here. This looks fine. We have the city. We use a left. Imagine that if we have no Excel knowledge, this would have taken us sometimes to write it. Let's also take the trim here. Copy it, and we do like this, and we have the country. So now we have the city and the country nicely written. We only used our human words to get help with this, and then we get the formulas. I know this is somewhat advanced for some of you, but it shows that with normal English words, we can get advanced output from Copilot. And we can even ask Copilot to help us find errors in our data and formulas. Let's take a break. I think we need it. We have seen that we can create, we can get simple Excel help, more advanced Excel help, and now we will get really advanced. I know that some of you will never touch it, but it goes to show you where the limit is. For me as a developer, I felt very job secure for a long time, but with this, any one of you can pretty much take my job, or at least very soon take my job. Let's see what we can do. So Jinfeng, this is also to you. First, I want to create VBA, and then we want to create some Office script. I'll go to my chat again, and then I want to say create the VBA code to color the cells in the, see where it is. I will just, thank you for muting. Let's say that I want to look at this price column, price in DKK, and that is column N. In the column N, depending like this. Then I want to say green, red if below 10,000, yellow, and this is just a simple one. We could do this with conditional formatting, but it's just to show you how easy we can generate code and generate small snippets to automate stuff. This is if we want to do the same thing over and over. Yellow if between 10,000 and 40,000, and maybe green if above 40,000. Maybe just like this. Then I also might want to say that my Excel sheet got headers and the sheet is named, just to make sure that if we have different sheets, take rename, copy the sheet name here. Let's send it, and let me show you how impressive this is. As someone who have written a lot of this code, look how fast it goes. This is really impressive. This is not a course in VBA, but this is just to show you how easy it is to generate code that can automate things. It also does best practices from my world. It documents the code. Here it explains some of the steps, which is really nice. I can follow up, have it well documented or whatever I want, or I can simply just copy this code, go to my Excel, go to developer here, say Visual Basic, right click, insert, and then I can apply the code. When I run this code, right now I do it manually, but this could be done automatically. Imagine that I get a lot of these sheets in that I want to automate. Right now it's coloring, it could be anything. Then when I press run here, it will color this based on this code. So do you think it's very easy to do VBA in Excel? And yeah, from my side, this is really, really impressive. Well, let's also do a more advanced part on coding. I will do it quickly, but now I want to, well, I can see that there's a somewhat inaccuracy in the real course, at least, and that is because we are not using the correct and updated currency courses here. What I can do instead is to find a place where I actually have the correct currency courses. I have it here. I want the base currency now. I just need to change the setting. This is a third-party service, which I can call from my Excel, so it's always updated. I then want to have to return the euro, US dollars, British pounds, and Swedish kronas. I have a URL that I call, and then I get this result back. So what I want to do now is to easily integrate this into my Excel book. And with these updated courses, you can see they are slightly different from here. So it automatically have the newest courses. I know some of you have large amount of Excel books where you sit and refresh a page if a ship comes into the harbor. We can also integrate that if we have access to the data. So it's just directly done in Excel. Anyway, let's get started. I want to first grab this address, that is to call it, copy it here, and then I go to my Copilot. Yeah. So here I say create an Office script that calls this API like this. Then I paste in the URL. Then I want to say the response comes in this format, and I want to copy the response from here like this. And then I want to say all values needs to be returned to the valuta cursor sheet. The value for the key euro goes to level C3. The value for the key USD goes to C4. The value for the key British pound goes to C5, and then I think it was C7 value. Yeah. And then we say the value for the key Swedish kronas goes to C7. Let's run this, and then we get an Office script, which is a slightly different coding language, but still it's code. We don't need to understand it, so I will not explain it, but this is, again, very impressive. I just copied the code here. Now I want to say, just so I can see that these gets updated, I just delete the old ones. And then I want to go to automate, new script, and here. Then I paste in the code. I can see that this will produce an error, but let's just see. You can see it produce this error. Again, I just copy the error. I go back here and say, I got this error, fix the script, paste in the error. And this is speed run, so this goes a little bit faster than you might do, but you can do this with your own English words. Then it fixes it. Let's try to copy this code. Go back, delete the old code, put it in here, and run the script. There you go. Now we have updated currency rates. We will see that this one is getting updated. I will also see that right now I need to press the run each time, so to run this Office script, but I can easily schedule it. So this, for example, runs every minute, every 10th minute, if I want to do that. I know this was a little bit advanced, but now you saw it. We can get help with everything in Copilot. I know a lot of you uses Excel.